All right, Kiss Army, welcome to the KissFAQ Podcast. Thank you for giving us your time today and letting us into your head. I hope we don't do any damage. This is a Kiss-related podcast by the board, for the board. We hope that you enjoy.
Welcome to episode 258 of the KissFAQ Podcast. I'm Ken, your host, and joining me today is Marcus Almighty.
Greetings.
And Daniel, Weeze on the message board. How you guys doing?
I'm doing fine.
I'm doing good.
That's good. So as people can probably see, we're missing our, supreme leader, Julian Gill. He's busy with other things. So today, we have no rules or anything, not bound by anything. So we're going to cut loose here and do an episode of our liking. And so today what we're going to do, and I don't know if there's any news. Do you know any new Kiss news? Anyone have any Kiss news? I didn't even look up anything lately.
To be honest, I haven't checked on any Kiss news either. I mean, from what I understand, they're done their tour. They're preparing for the next leg. Is that not correct?
The U.S. leg, right. So that's what I'm waiting for that too. So come October or September, that is, I'll be going to a show. You're going to a show, right, Mark?
I will be attempting to, yes.
Attempting.
You have to.
Honestly, here's the thing. I mean, I have a means of going, but I'll be honest with you. And again, I know this is going to give lots of ridicule from the Kiss community when I say this, but I don't seem very anxious at all to go. I mean, ever since I've seen hundreds and dozens of clips online and seen the show, and I know it's different than being there and actually seeing it and stuff like that. But I mean, I don't know. I mean, I think maybe as the date gets closer, I think I might get that anticipation feeling, and I'll probably end up going. I know I probably will. But as of right now, with how I feel, if it was tomorrow and I missed it, I probably wouldn't care. But I think though, once it gets closer to the date, I think I'll probably end up going anyways.
You will regret it if you don't. The last chance.
Yeah, well, I mean, I've seen them.
Daniel saw them just recently. Yeah. You enjoyed it, right, Daniel?
Yeah, I enjoyed it more than I thought I would. But I didn't watch. But I don't watch the YouTube clips. I go in fresh always. I try to stay away from those.
That's smart.
Yeah,
that's a good way to go about it. I mean, yeah, Mark. I'm like Daniel. I wasn't expecting, much based on, you always hear about the new show and all that kind of stuff. It's bigger and better than, but it is bigger and better. They actually made a nice, cohesive show, and with not a bunch of long monologues in the middle of it either. It just boom, boom, boom keeps moving along, and it's just a bunch of cherries on the top of it, I guess, if you want to talk about the lasers and fire and so on. So yeah, if I was you, I'd go. And it could be your last chance.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like I said, I think as I get closer to it, the date, I think that I will probably reconsider and end up going. I mean, I have a good, possibility and a good in on going because of some people that I know that are tied to the venue and stuff like that, right? So, it may be I won't have much of a reason, let's just put it that way, to not go. So,
well, it's not just the concert. I mean, it's the atmosphere, the fans, everything around it. I would love to go and see them. I went to a festival. It's not really the same. Going to a Kiss show is even better. But I still thought it was really cool.
Well, I agree with that part of it, because when I recently went to a concert, this one here, the Royal Affair tour here, and it was really cool. Not just so much because of the show and because I know the guys now and and stuff like that. It's mainly because I started meeting a lot of the people that listen to the podcast that I do, the Yes one, and hanging out with all those people was really cool before the show even started.
Exactly.
A lot of talking and hanging out, and before we knew it, already Carl Palmer was online, and we were like, oh, holy crap, we got to get on there and check it out. So, you know what I mean? It's I understand what you guys mean. Like, it's the vibe, it's the energy being there, the people you talk with. It'll make it that much more exciting. And I think that's kind of what's missing right now for me, is that, you know, there's not that excitement build up right now for it. So I think once I get closer to it and they start talking about it more in my area here, I think I'll, you know, be ready to go forth and check it out.
Yeah, I'm always blown away by the people who watches this show. The people who watch this show when they come up to and want to talk. Yeah. Really? Yeah, because I mean, when I was at the Trondheim concert, a few guys there, we spoke for like an hour, and they talked about you guys, and well, they knew everything we had talked about, stuff like that. And I'm an old guy, so this is kind of, I still think it's mind-blowing, the internet stuff that you can do this, and then real life stuff happens. I mean, the millennials, they are used to this, but to me it's still kind of mind-boggling that it works out that way. I think it's
exactly.
Oh, cool. So before we start into our subject of this week, anybody get anything, I guess, new Kiss-wise? Or
I haven't gotten nothing, honestly. I've been sitting in here working on my record, so I've barely gotten out of this house, to be quite honest with you. So,
how's it going for you? Is it going okay? The recording?
Yeah, I mean, I'm going in full steam ahead. I have my trusty bass guitar here, right? I've been doing the bass guitar tracks, and I'm almost done. So I'm kind of ahead of schedule. So I'm keeping my fingers crossed that it continues that way.
I'm so envious that you have the time to do that stuff. I mean, if I could sit down for like a week and just play the guitar and record, it never happens in my life anymore. Today I built a porch, you know, outside the house. Porch. 8 hours, hard work.
Oh,
wow.
I'd rather be sitting around playing, noodling with the guitar, but yeah.
Yeah, well, I mean, making a porch, though, is nothing to sneeze at. I mean, if I had the skills to make a porch, maybe I would make one, you know?
Yeah, it's kind of fun, but not as fun as playing the guitar, of course. Yeah.
Well, I did get something in the mail.
Okay, what did you get?
Here. Well,
it's not here.
Posters.
Compilation album?
No, actually. Some, vintage, I guess you could say, Kiss posters. And I'm going to frame one of them. And so maybe I'll show it when I get it framed. This should be pretty cool. So
now,
we'll
of course,
just wait and save it.
The $100 question, Ken, is: did you listen to the Kiss My Collectibles episode where they discussed about framing and how to properly do it? So you won't give.
I got to go back and watch it. I mean,
I
did see it, but I have to go back now and watch it to make sure I don't mess up my poster. So don't want to do that.
All right. Andrew and Jason had quite the little segment on how to properly your posters, and of course not to do it the way that the other gentleman there, Nicholas, I think it's Nicholas, what's his name?
Nicholas Buckland. Yes.
Buckland. Apparently he did a few no-nos that almost gave Jason a heart attack, so you don't want to do those ones. So
Yes. He paste him or do something to a backing?
He did some water backing. I don't know. He did some kind of backing that made Jason's jaw drop to the ground. So
it's like, well, that's all right.
But we forgot to mention, wasn't it today that Julian had the watch party for the Shade concert?
That's the news.
Actually, it's going to be on again in an hour. Actually, they're doing two of them, so in an hour there's going to be another one running of it.
We have to wrap this up then. Yeah.
Wrap it up quick. We may do that anyway. So it's the viewing of the 1990 Hot in the Shade video, unseen footage. So if it's unseen, I want to see it.
Where do you go?
It's on Facebook. I believe it's Andrew.
There's a link there. I believe there's a link within the board.
Okay.
I think Julian put a sticky, so I think it's
I'll
posted
have
in
it
there.
up and
So
running.
there's a couple
next
places
week.
to click and get out there and view it. I believe it's Facebook. You're gonna have to have Facebook if you're gonna.
Mhm.
Andrew, what's his surname? It's like spaghetti.
Scambatti.
Scambatti.
Spaghetti.
What's that?
I'm sure he gets that all the time.
Well, it's that like Italian or what is it?
Yeah, it's Italian. Yeah.
I think it's. Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
So this week we're going to talk about the Kiss Symphony,
One of
which is
Julian's
also known
favorites.
as
Oh my.
Kiss Symphony Alive 4.
Yes.
Yeah, why did they put that on? It should just be called Kiss Symphony.
I agree that it should have never been called Alive 4.
I never cared for that.
They should have skipped that and made Alive 4 something else. Maybe the Vegas thing or who knows what. But
Tommy Thayer looks bad in that picture. I mean, ooh.
And the picture's not good.
I had a hard time when he started in Kiss too.
It didn't look right. He didn't look right at the beginning of that. But
Came around, yeah.
This came out in July 22nd, 2003. There was a 2-disc version. If you're talking about the CD, there was a 2-disc version and a single-disc version, which had obviously different track listing. It did do, surprisingly, it did get up to 18 on the Billboard charts, which is kind of surprising. And
was it like every other record that Kiss released from the 90s and on? It was one week.
Then it drops real quick. Yeah. Then there's Canada. It went gold.
Well, it's a double platinum release as far as video goes. I don't know about the CD.
Video, the video came out a little bit later in September 10th, 2003, and that did go platinum, like you're saying. And all their videos, they're a visual band, so I don't know why they don't release more videos because, man, every time they put videos out, they sell like gangbusters.
Because it would make sense. That's why they don't do it. It makes perfect sense. So they're not going to do it.
Exactly.
Do you remember when they released the Kissologist series? And it was huge. I mean, they sold loads of that stuff.
It's great that you brought that up because this morning I was on the RIAA site, which is the Recording Industry of America Association, and I was just going through looking for different bands and seeing their gold and platinum count. And Kiss's count on those videos are unbelievable. The first one is 5 times platinum. The second one, I believe, was 6. And if you can believe it, the last one, the newest era, is actually 8 times platinum sold. That's one.
Crazy,
it's the best-selling one. Can you believe that? I would have thought for sure the first one would have been the highest selling.
That's the Kissology.
I think people got to know about the series after a while. I believe if they would have released another installment in the series, it would even sell more than that. It's finished. It's in
the monster, or they call it something else now since he uses monster name. But even if you took, just going off track a little bit, but the earlier videos exposed those ones. Those sold great too. So, like I said, all their videos have done pretty well. I don't know about Rock the Nation. It probably did well anyway. I think it did.
It did good too. It did double platinum at least.
Yeah. So, hey, Kiss release some videos. Come on, more videos, please. All right. So, what are your? I mean, did you get it when it came out? You guys, right when it came out?
Yeah, I actually got it pretty much right when it came out. I remember there was an ad in a magazine at the time that I saw it in, that they were releasing it, and it must have already been out because usually magazines had a little bit of a behind the times kind of thing where they were already a little bit behind the news. But I went out and got it, and I put it on, and I enjoyed it immensely for one reason and hated it for another reason. The reason why I didn't like it is the same reason that Julian doesn't like it is the editing in it is very haphazard. Like
the video,
it cuts
The video,
like crazy on there. Like it's unbelievable. And I'll just tell you a quick story about that. Why it even went worse for me. There was a time shortly after when I bought that. This is years ago, obviously, when this came out. I had an inner ear infection at one point, and what ended up happening when you have your inner ear infection, your equilibrium gets a little shot, right? So I remember watching this video one time, and because of my equilibrium, it really made me nauseous watching it to the point of where I refused to watch it for almost a year. Like I was paranoid of like getting sick watching it again. You know,
gonna make me sick.
We have to talk about the editing more later on because it's crazy.
It's definitely. Go ahead.
I didn't buy it. I did not buy that piece. No.
The video or the CD?
None of them.
Okay.
I refuse to buy the same rehashed stuff all over again, because we had Greatest Kiss in '97. We had You Wanted the Best, You Got the Best in '96. Unplugged in I think it came out in '96. And then of course we had Psycho Circus, but it was kind of a mishmash of different tunes. But by this point, I was really tired of Kiss. I felt they had nothing more to give. I mean, and the nail in the coffin, so to speak, was Ace leaving the band, and they put that guy in his makeup. I had a hard time. Yeah, I had a hard time accepting that guy in makeup. And I remember watching. Actually, I don't remember which video they had like a single, but it was on from time to time on television here in Sweden. And I was watching with a friend, and he looked at me and said, Ace Frehley really looks sharp. What's happened to him? Even he, who hadn't seen the band for years, he noticed that something was off. I mean, it was too good. So I didn't buy it. It's a nice effort, but actually I was surprised that they could make it, because if you think of it, 2002, the year before, they were down in the down the drain almost, because what the Olympics, they played second fiddle to some other band, and they played a private show in Jamaica, and nothing more. I think they didn't tour or anything, and you really didn't know. Maybe they played Japan, or was that in 2003?
That was later on.
Yeah, that was later.
But you made a good point, though, because the fact of the matter is, you're right. They were really in the down period at that time. And this, though, I have to give credit for one thing. It definitely put Kiss back in people's minds again, because when you watch a video that has that many people in there in a huge stadium like that, then people start scratching their head and going, okay, what's going on here now again? Maybe they give them a second chance to start watching them again, because they're not playing in a club or playing in some small hall, or playing in a huge place. And it was smart that they went to Australia, because like in the 80s, that place was like a place of resurgence for them, as far as people coming out to see them. They had huge audiences there. So, and just the one other thing about this DVD that I really thought was fantastic, and I'm always a huge fan of myself, is that they had that whole making of situation on disc 1 here, which is the Kiss Symphony story. They talk about what happened before, how they met the composer and this and that, and the conductor, and they showed the setup of the stadium. Like, all those things are things that pique my interest and make me want to go and buy it. If it was just simply just a concert video alone, I don't think I would have got it, to be honest with you. When I looked at the back and saw that they had that, I was like, I was in, fully to get it, because I like those things. A lot of the times I watch those things more than I watch the actual concerts itself. And of course, in keeping with my hate for a certain record, if you take a good look at the track listing of this, let me just refresh your memory on Act 3, Detroit Rock City, King of the Nighttime World, Do You Love Me? Great Expectations, Shout It Out Loud, God of Thunder. That is almost the whole album they play, and they do Beth in Act 2. So I have a reason not to listen to this at all, because I can't stand Destroyer, but I'll admit that I preferred hearing it in this way than in the album version.
Do you remember when they made the ads for the concert and started to getting prepared for the concert? I didn't think they would be able to pull it off. I mean, when they said that we're going to play a stadium in Australia, oh my, it's going to be empty. I mean, no one is going to be there. So I don't know how, but I guess it has to do with them being kind of big in Australia, and they only played that gig. I think I don't think they play that much any other place.
A couple of arena, I think it was arena, like, or 2 days or something like that. But so I did get it.
Of course.
Roy went. Well, yeah, of course, right? I'm a sucker. I got the double CD. I don't know where the double CD. I think I have it packed away, but I did get that. And then when the video came out, I definitely. The vinyl of it. This is the numbered vinyl. It's three LPs in this thing.
I haven't seen that one.
The trifold vinyl thing. It's like, big. You know? So there's 3 discs of that. I don't think I even spun that one yet on that. Plus I have another vinyl of it from Hysteria has it too. So I have that one that came out then, and then the Hysteria one. But I do agree that, at least on the DVD, the packaging is fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's a nice fold open, has the little booklet. I like how they did the little, the disc with the makeup, like Beethoven, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think with the makeup of all 4 members. I think was it Tommy Thayer who did the design of this?
It might be.
He was overseeing it, I think.
Yeah.
The only other thing I'd say about it is Kiss was kind of late to the party for the Symphony because
that's a big surprise.
Unusual.
Metallica did it about years before, right?
Oh yeah.
99, I think.
Yeah. So Kiss was a little late there. But having said that, it's not bad. So let's talk about, I guess, some of the videos or music that you prefer. I know Mark said definitely. I think all of us agree. And if you've seen it, Daniel, or not, I don't know. But the documentary part, which is like 30 minutes at the beginning, is fantastic. Just like it's fantastic when they did the Unplugged one. Unplugged, and they had the little documentary meeting again after so much time, or then they were going to practice. All that kind of stuff. Documentaries, when they do that, is fantastic. One thing I
really enjoyed, even though it wasn't a lot, was the commentary on the Kissology series.
Yes.
They could have talked a bit more, but the few things they said was really interesting to watch. The shows with Paul and Gene talking about it. They could do that.
Oh, they could do that.
Almost make me buy, the videos
almost
if they did that. Yeah, because that would be something kind of fresh.
Yeah. So, great thing. So, I mean, what are your, for instance, maybe, I guess, I mean, we know the DVD, the editing is, we already talked a little bit about that. Yeah. The editing is not great. It's too fast switching. Not as bad as Rock the Nation. I haven't said that, but it's still a little fast on the video. But
there's more problem than the short scenes.
What worked? I mean, what did not work, and what like that, and what would you have done differently?
One thing is that it doesn't feel live at times. I think they use too many shots of audience members, and like when Gene is pointing somewhere, you have a reaction from the crowd, which we understand is taken from somewhere else during the show, and that goes on all the time, and they can't really decide if this is supposed to be a really, upper class concert with a children's choir and stuff, or if they want to show the girls' tits in the audience. I mean, they cross-cut between Gene playing around with the children's choir, and then you see girls lifting their tops almost all the way off. They cut before they do it. So
there is that little differentiation between what it's supposed to be. What I enjoyed actually on this, to be honest with you, is I liked the way they split it up into acts, how they did the first act, no symphony. I liked the fact that they did the act 2 with just a smaller sort of ensemble, and then where they did kind of more the ballady sort of material, and then they did the full-blown thing last. For me personally, after watching it numerous times, I find that I tend to enjoy Act 1 the most, because I like the sort of just Kiss performance alone. And they played songs that I liked. They played Deuce, they played Strutter. And Deuce and Strutter, we've talked about this a few times. When Peter Criss drums those songs, there's something about it that brings you back to classic Kiss, because he has a different feel on drums than the other guys do. And those two songs always come back to that original feel when he plays those songs. And then they do, Let Me Go Rock and Roll, and it was interesting at that time to see him do something like Lick It Up. It was like, wow, he never did before, right? Back at the time, right? And, then he did Calling Dr. Love, and they ended with Psycho Circus. So it was a good cross-section of songs, and songs I think Peter performed well on. And, I didn't have really any issue with Tommy Thayer at the time, because at that time I was kind of like happy that they were continuing. So if it meant having Tommy Thayer in the band to continue, then so be it. But, it did, I'll be honest, it did take me a little bit of getting used to as well. It wasn't like an instant arms open embrace kind of thing, right? But, he didn't play badly. I thought that he played very well, very un-ace. He was spot on. He played everything perfectly. He did everything.
Even the Bruce Kulick solo, the Forever solo was
he did it right.
Good. Yeah,
exactly.
He did it well.
I
just have to say, I was surprised that Peter Criss could keep it together as good as it did. I mean, this is one of his better performances if you take into account the reunion era. I feel it's almost like he played better than he did during the reunion tour. And I especially enjoy the way he played Psycho Circus, because he didn't play on that one either, on the record. I don't think so. Yeah, but he did a real good job there.
Yeah.
And that's one of the highlights for me, having a good live version of Psycho Circus. I know there was another one on some sort of EP or something like that, but this is a good version and a good live performance of the song with all the rockets shooting and stuff. And I have to say, one good thing about the record and the DVD is actually Peter's drumming, I have to say. That was one of the things that stood out to me.
Yeah, I mean, I think he was definitely more focused because of the
he looked so happy.
Situation at hand,
He looked so happy, and he smiled.
And he was happy.
It's almost,
It's
like, he thinks I'm going to play in this band for a long time now. I'm back.
Yeah, he wasn't in there much longer after this. And
next tour,
yeah, so he was surprisingly focused. I was surprised. I mean, I was looking at some of these videos actually earlier today, and there's where they do the ensemble part. It's kind of cool. The problem is, I think there's a couple of songs there that just did not work. The ones I thought didn't work very well were Sure Know Something and Shandy. I just didn't like the backing orchestration for those two songs. It just didn't sound right to me, or it didn't work. Now Going Blind was pretty darn good. It's still, to me, it's not as good as the Unplugged version. Unplugged is still better. I mean, but it's close one. And I was other surprising one. 1 second, Daniel.
Yeah.
The other thing is the Great Expectations in the early other disc, or the act, that was act 3.
Symphony, yeah.
That actually worked surprisingly. To me, it worked pretty good. Better than the album. On Destroyer. itself. I think which I'm sure Mark
That ain't
agree
hard to
with.
do.
Yeah. But yeah, so I mean, what songs stood out for you guys on this?
Well, to me, you said it that I don't know. Maybe it was Mark that said it, because I think when you watch this show or listen to the record, it's kind of a cool thing, a one-off thing,
Different.
cool. But when you want to listen to the songs, if I want to listen to any of these songs, there are better versions of every single song. Well, maybe not Great Expectations, but every other song. There is a better version on a live album or studio album. And it's the same thing with Metallica's album. It was kind of a cool thing, a one-off thing, but I never go back and listen to that record. And I don't think many people do. I actually listened to Saint Anger, the re-record of Saint Anger, when I was out riding my bike. It sounded great. I never could. I hated that album because of the drum sound. But there's a re-record. I'm not even sure if it's James who's singing, but it's a great record to listen to if you want to work out. The bad thing is when you work out and go to you go and look at Runkeeper, you see that Lonnie has run like 200 kilometers. He seems like a runner, that guy, and fast.
Oh yeah.
So you go and run, keep it. I had a great workout, and then you see, well, Lonnie, he did much more than me. What?
Yeah, well, I mean, for me, I think as far as songs that stick out for me, like I said, I think that the first couple of songs on the first act definitely are standout pieces for sure. The one song that really I liked that they did with the full symphony was Black Diamond. I think that because they left everything, all the bombast on that, like at the end, there was a double the fireworks and double this and that, because it's the ending of the set, right? So they of course leave a lot of that stuff for that moment. And Black Diamond has always been one of my favorite songs that Kiss has ever done. So of course, they can't go wrong with playing that, of course. But I mean, I think that Daniel's right about the whole comment about that this is not exactly something that one goes back to often. I mean, for me personally, I think this is maybe a once or twice a year view, if that, for me. I mean, I listen to like Alive 1, or I listen to Asylum, or I listen to Rock and Roll Over easily dozens of times more than I would listen to this. And it's not because I think that it's like terrible or anything. No. It's just because it's just not a standout moment in my history with Kiss. For me, Asylum is a record that is my favorite non-makeup Kiss record. So that for me is something I'll always listen to. Rock and Roll Over is my favorite Kiss album, period. So I'll always listen to that. I'll bring that in the car with me on CD, or listen to it down in the man cave on my stereo system with vinyl, or even Alive. I'll pull on my favorite pressing of Alive, and listen to that. Because it's such a monumental moment. It was one of the earliest records I got that my sister got me for Christmas. So those were moments that I always go back to and have strong connection to. So I listened to that. This was just something that I just bought, being a Kiss fan, and I listen to it every once in a while, but that's about the only connection I have to it.
Yeah, I agree. And the one what you said earlier about Black Diamond, I forgot about that. Orchestration in Black Diamond is very similar almost to the orchestration, the instrumental version that was on Kiss My Ass.
Oh, yeah.
It reminded me of that. It's like Kiss playing along to that kind of thing. I thought, oh, okay, that's what. I thought that was really cool on. That's probably my favorite thing on Kiss My Ass, actually.
That's kind of cool.
Is the Black Diamond instrumental by, was it Yoshiki or?
Yeah, the Japanese guy.
Yeah. So that's very cool. So what else did we know? Kiss followed the trend. I mean, do we have anything else to say about this? How they would maybe change this thing?
Well, there are a few more good things on the album. I'd say the crowd is really into it. It seems like the crowd is fantastic at this show.
It's not pre-recorded?
I don't think so. So it's kind of a throwback to times when the audiences actually listened and didn't film the concerts. that much. I think they seem to really enjoy the show. So I think that's a big thing with this album. It feels like it's a good concert. What I didn't like, I had a hard time seeing the demon. Imagine 70s Gene, the real demon.
Oh yeah.
Fooling around with a choir, a children's choir, and then sitting on a stool playing. To me, the sort of unplugged, the second set there, the second part of act, the second act. It didn't work in makeup for me. I much more prefer the unplugged versions. I can't stand seeing the demon Gene sitting on a stool and play. I mean, it doesn't work.
The demon doesn't sit down? What are you talking about?
Yeah. It's interesting though that you brought up a good fact again there, Daniel, about how the audience was really into it. One of the things I found interesting on the documentary end of it is that they were talking to people from the crowd beforehand and asking what they were looking forward to, and there were people that going crazy like, "Oh, I can't wait to see. We waited so long to see Kiss."
Yeah.
And there was that one guy there who brought up something that initially was always looked at as a joke, but I think now in retrospect he was onto something. There was a guy on there who was saying, "I hope they play The Elder or they play Just a Boy. I'll be very upset if they don't play anything." And we were always laughing when he said stuff like that. But you know what? This might have actually been a good time for them to have done it because they had an orchestra.
Yeah.
They could have did like fanfare into Just a Boy. They could have done some of the Elder stuff at that time because they had the orchestra to do it then, right? Could you imagine if they would have actually thought about it and said, you know what, maybe we should do a couple of them. Now we have the orchestra for it. We can make it sound authentic. And that guy would have probably had a stroke in his chair, died and went to heaven. So I think that, I think that it's a missed opportunity.
I could just hear it now. I mean, just thinking about some of the music on the orchestration that, Bob Ezrin did, came up with. And shoot, if they would have done that and did that in a couple of songs like, Only You or whatever. I mean, World Without Heroes even. That would have worked. That would have definitely worked. I'm surprised they didn't think of it at the time. They were too focused on your favorite album, Destroyer. So.
Yeah, but they were also looking at that album at that point as such a plague to them that if anybody would if somebody would have even like suggested like a credible person, they probably would have given them the glance of death and said, "No way, we're not doing it." But I think they could have did it. I mean, people have embraced that record over time, and it wouldn't have been such a sore thing to do.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree. Definitely agree on it. All right. Well, for this album or symphony, do we got any more on it, or do we want to move on to something quick, a board topic or something, or anything else?
I mean, I think we pretty much exhausted this.
I mean, there's only so much we can talk about the Kiss
I just have to say, I think this was one of the last tours or last shows where Gene actually looked really great in the costume. I mean, he looked fit.
The makeup was better too, even.
Yeah, so it's one of his last shows where he looked like the demon to me, and I like the outfits as well. The early stuff.
Early outfits,
yeah.
The replicas. Exactly.
The annual celebration of rock returns to Nashville. Rockin' Pod is back and bigger than ever in 2019. This convention brings together the best rock stars, music podcasters, vinyl and memorabilia vendors, cosplayers, and rock fans from all corners of the globe. Special guests include Michael Sweet of Stryper, David Ellefson of Megadeth, Brian Forsyth of Kix, Jason Beeler of Saigon Kick, Eerie Von of Danzig, and members of Exodus, Roxy Blue, Every Mother's Nightmare, Tora Tora, and more. Music podcasts from all over North America will be recording on site all weekend. Special pre-party featuring The Rock and Roll Residency, 8-Ball, and Lipstick Generation on Friday night. Rockin' Pod Expo on Saturday. Join us at the Nashville Airport Marriott, August 9th and 10th for Rockin' Pod. Tickets and VIP packages available now at rockinpod.com.
All right. Well, I mean, out on the board, what do we got out there? We know the watch party's coming up here soon. What else do we have? I think there was something about this one about the image of Peter Criss on album covers. It was a question. He said, "On which album cover do you prefer the image of Peter Criss?" So, in other words, this person said that for him, Peter on Hotter Than Hell is real cool, but I really like his makeup on the first album. So, which is surprising. He likes the makeup on the first album, even though it's like
the worst.
That's the makeup where most people just kind of discard, but he does like the actual photo of him on, I guess, the cover of Hotter Than Hell. I don't know. I mean, I would not go with that first album makeup, ever again. I mean, it wasn't his design. Basically, the guy came in and did his makeup and added whatever to it. It actually made him look more like a clown, I think. I mean, seriously, I wasn't trying to be that funny, but I mean, it did make him look more like a clown than the cat. I don't know. I mean, what's the best image of Peter? I don't like the picture of Peter on. I've said this before. Dynasty, where his one eye is up a little higher, or his eyebrow, so it's making the makeup uneven on one side. The green bothers me, but I don't know. I mean, a
lot of the albums are paintings, so we don't have that many to choose from. I mean, Destroyer,
maybe the best one is
Love Gun.
Love Gun, where he's a big muscular guy.
Yeah.
Well, the interesting thing, though, when we're talking about this, like, for example, I'm sure I heard about this or read this somewhere, that somebody mentioned that the pictures in Dynasty look so awkward because they were composites of other photos put together to make a photo, because it's almost like they were saying, like, Gene didn't like his eyes in this one photo, but he liked them in this one, or he didn't like his mouth in this one, so they made a composite of different things to make it, which is probably explained why Peter's eye is like, all shot.
Possible.
That sounds like Paul. That sounds like Paul would say something like that.
But as for me, with my favorite image of Peter, it's always been this image, because for me, when I was young, I always thought this was the coolest looking album cover, was Dressed to Kill. Yeah, I loved them in their suits. I thought Peter actually looked like his suit actually like fit him. You know what I mean? It looks like it's his actual suit. Gene looked ridiculous. He was the only one. He's the only one who wasn't in the right color. They were all in black, and he's in like gray and stuff, and he's wearing these stupid clogs. Like, it's like, come on, man. Like, he looked ridiculous in it. But I think that Peter looked really, really cool in that shot. I thought that the band overall looked good in that.
Peter Renes looks awesome in that shot. But Paul, isn't he trying to be a bit taller than he actually is? Standing on his toes.
Trying to get up.
Classic.
It is platforms.
But Peter, that's an awesome picture of Peter Criss. He seems very comfortable in the setting, while Paul standing on his toes, and Gene, I don't know what he's trying to do. I like Ace's pose as well on that.
Ace looks laid back, cool.
Yeah, it's Ace.
Yeah, okay, well, so. I have a topic to bring up with you guys if you want. Yeah. And this is off the board too, and it made me kind of wonder when I read this. The topic is just simply says, and it's done by TMC T. McFadden, I think would be his proper name. He put up a comment about Ace, please no. It says, please tell me that Ace isn't playing a damn car lot. Now, when I read this, it says that he's playing some show at a car a car dealership in the parking lot. Now, I read his comment about it, and I kind of understand what they're saying, that it doesn't look very cool for somebody who's trying to keep an image of being like a popular musician to play at a car parking lot. That's something that you hear of, like some one-hit wonder guy 20 years ago who was big, like Menudo or something. They're playing at some car dealership, and it's only one original member left in Menudo, and they're playing there, but I understand that opinion of it, and for me as well, I kind of wonder why he is doing that, because to me it doesn't seem like any kind of a high profile thing. It's not like he's doing it for like Lamborghini or for Porsche or something. Maybe. It just seems like he's playing at some dealership, and people are speculating, maybe he's going to get a free car out of it or something, but yeah, but to me, image is everything, and perception is everything. When you're a younger kid or something, and you see Ace Frehley, and you think he's cool, and you hear he's playing at this dealership down the road, what is your opinion now all of a sudden of him? You start thinking like, oh no, what's going on with Ace now? He can't get gigs at a club or something. Like, what do you guys think?
Well, I saw he had a much more interesting gig coming up. I don't know if you saw that. He was going to play with the Kings of Chaos. I think that can be pretty cool. Maybe the Kings of Chaos, it's like Sebastian Bach and Gil Clark and a few other, I don't know.
That's cool.
Has-beens, but Sebastian Bach still got it. He still can be a cool frontman, and he loves Kiss. And you guys, you're into vinyl. He's one of the biggest vinyl fans
he's
around, and he gets all these free records from fans and stuff. So so I'm looking forward to that one. The Carlop thing, we'll have to wait and see what that is.
Yeah, I mean,
but what do you think of that? Do you think that it's a good idea for him to do it, or?
No, I don't think it's a good idea. But I think it's a quick buck. I think it's a quick buck, and he's always, he always says, "Well, I'm kind of lazy and da." If he can play a Carlot, maybe I'm not sure if he's even going to play a whole set. Maybe he plays 4 or 5 songs and gets a car and a few bucks. And I think he's satisfied with that. He's not, kind of a thinking guy. I think. I think he goes. He's like the, he's like more the rock and roller. He's always been. Yeah. So, I don't think he dwells a lot about those things. I mean, maybe a car and a few dollars. I'm there.
Yeah, I mean, I think it doesn't look that good. I mean, imagine if like Kiss was going to play auto. I mean, that would look like, oh man, they've fallen far, down to do something like that. It's just the way it is, I guess. I mean, Ace Frehley on his own is not going to do the same kind of thing that Kiss can do, which is a full arena or whatever. Having just doing it as far as publicity, I don't know if it's such a good thing. Again, it's got to be a money thing. I know Ace sold, right? Wasn't he selling his house or sold his house? One of his houses in Southern California. He said he wanted to move closer to LA, I guess. For I don't know the reasons. Who knows? Maybe he's doing fine financially. We don't know. But it's kind of weird. I mean, he may be getting a free car, or something, or a good interest rate on the loan.
Yeah. Kiss is the other way around. They try to present everything as a success. Gene has some classics when he's talking about like the Kiss coffin. Oh well, it's a success. It's been sold to a lot of sports bars, and I don't think he sold more than 10 of those, maybe 50.
I don't know how many they made of those things.
No.
Probably not too many.
No. But if you read Kiss and Sell, that's one of the bigger points in that book, that you need to present everything as a success. And that was what Gene learned early on, and he's been doing that ever since.
Perception.
Yeah.
Okay. Any more? I see. There's another one out there about listen or skip on Animalize.
Oh my.
That one. So, what songs will you listen to on Animalize with that, and what songs do you think you'd skip on there if you played that album or CD?
Well,
so if we know the songs here, for instance, the songs are I've had enough.
I've had enough. Heavens on Fire, Burn, Bitch, Burn.
Loneliest Hunter, Thrills in the Night.
Yeah.
Get all you can take.
Get all you can. Yeah.
Yeah.
While the city sleeps and murder.
I guess the question: what would you skip? I don't. Obviously,
Gene Simmons songs I would skip. All of them. Maybe I could listen to Burn Bitch Burn because it's kind of a fun song.
Mm-hmm.
But I enjoy every Paul song on that album. I think that album could have been so great if Gene just had done something right. But I think almost every Gene song is a catastrophe. That's probably his worst album in my mind. Unfortunately, I think he had some good songs on Lick It Up, but I don't know. He was doing that film with Tom Selleck, Runaway, and he was off in Hollywood, But the Paul Stanley songs are great, and the 1-2 punch in the beginning of that album is one of the best in my mind. I mean, I've had enough, and I think Heavens on Fire is the second one. I played that to death when I was a kid on my tape recorder. I played the 2 first songs, then rewinded, played the 2 first songs.
Oh, really?
I love it.
Okay. All right. Well, Mark, what do you think? What do you think about this?
Well, okay. Well, let's put it this way. I had enough Into the Fire. I would always listen to. It's a great opening song. Heavens on Fire, I listen to because I whether we've overheard it 100 times, it's still a good song. Burn Bitch Burn is terrible. I always thought it was a weak song. It's just horrendous. So that needs a skip. Get All You Can Take is not bad. It's not his strongest song, but it's still a lot better than Burn Bitch Burn. So I'll play that. Lonely as the Hunter is again another one of these I just need to get something on the album, so I'm just gonna throw this on here. So that's a definite skip. Under the Gun is pretty good. It's that one seems a little forced to me. He's trying to make a really fast upbeat song to keep with the current trend. But again, even a half decent Paul song is still better than a half decent Gene song. So I'll have to go with a play on that. Thrills in the Night, I actually always thought was a pretty good song. I always wished that they would have released that video that they made where they talked about, them in characters playing, doing a kind of scripted thing. But maybe one day that'll come out. But I like Thrills in the Night. I think that it's a definite play. And then the last two, While the City Sleeps and Murder in High Heels, are just, I understand why Paul was pissed off at this point with Gene because, asking for co-production credit on this record and giving those songs there and saying that this is his material for the record, he didn't deserve any kind of credit at all. So I say skip on those last two.
It's almost the same. You skipped all the Gene songs and you played all the Paul songs.
Well, that's
that's it.
All right, so for me on this album, I've had enough Into the Fire, great song. Heavens on Fire, of course. I like Burn Bitch Burn. I've always liked Burn Bitch Burn, even though it's the lyrics and the hoo 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 part is kind of corny or goofy, but otherwise I think it's a great riff. I mean, it's a cool song, music wise, I guess. Lonely as the Hunter, actually always kind of liked that song. I believe that's the first Bruce Kulick solo on it that appeared. He appeared on the album there. Thrills in the Night, always loved that one. Get All You Can Take, I thought. Under the Gun, that's one maybe I would skip. I mean, I agree with Mark though about he's trying to follow a trend there, and it was just too much of a reach. He did that with a couple songs in the '80s, in the early '80s, and it may have been the other one off of Lick It Up, or I think it was Lick It Up or Asylum or whatever. But he did the same kind of thing. It was like, no, to stick to your
Give me more.
your stuff that you normally do. So While the City Sleeps and Murder in High Heels, I liked one of them a little bit more than the other. I probably skipped just one of them. I can't remember which one I don't like anymore. That's how memorable I guess.
They're not good, yeah.
But my on your thing about Gene wasn't doing enough for that time period. Though, if you listen to the Vault songs on the Vault, he had material that he had written that is better than way light years better than those two songs. I feel that Paul was so pissed at Gene for neglecting Kiss that he purposely picked the lesser quality songs of Gene's just to on purpose to give it to him.
You're telling me that you honestly think that he would have picked songs that were shittier that would have made the album worse?
I think Paul would rather have his songs be better on a Kiss album than Gene's.
Do you know how daring that is from a strictly sales end of things? That is because
that's why
if you
he
think
put
about
those two at the end of the album.
Okay, but think about it. That was their first platinum album in years. Okay, so they didn't know it was gonna. They didn't know it was going to do good. So you're telling me he took a chance to put on shit songs just to make himself look better in risk of, because if you would have said, Gene, give me your really good songs in hopes of making this an even better song. No, we're going to take your shit ones because I hate you, Gene. Well,
there are better songs. So or either that or Paul's like these songs better than some of those other songs, which I think are much better than those two songs. So I think he was sticking it to him. I don't think Gene was there, so he said, "Oh, I'm just gonna throw this one, and we'll just do this one." And it's like, "Yeah, Gene, this is a great song. This is gonna be a hit. Murder in High Heels." No. So I know it's maybe I'm wrong, but I just feel that it's a definite possibility, at least during this album, that he took the couple of boner songs or whatever you want to call them and threw them on the end there of Gene's songs. But anyway,
you never know. You never know.
You never know.
The fact of the matter is, Kiss have never been known for making great decisions.
Yeah. Well, if you read his book,
just said earlier what. Oh yeah, I read his book.
He was not happy. You're very. He was not happy with Gene.
Yeah, I was kind of surprised. He said that he was really not talking to Gene in 1994. I didn't know they were.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Early 90s.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah. So in 94 he just hated Gene. Yeah, I don't know why. So that was kind of new information. Otherwise, you made a good decision not to read the book, I can say. It wasn't one of his. The biography is much better. The first one,
yeah. Oh, I agree, definitely. So, anything else, or do we want to wrap it up?
Yeah, we can wrap it at here.
All right. Okay. All right. Well,
I can go and watch the Hot in the Shade show.
There you go. Yeah, we need to catch that Hot in the Shade. Hopefully, everyone else is out there checking that out.
Yeah.
At the same time. So, all right. Well, for you guys who have Symphony or may have bought it or not, or what do you think about the Kiss Symphony, and what are the high points and low points of that? Should Kiss have even done that with the Symphony, or not? And then on the other topics that we came across, like the Animalize, listen to or skip, that sort of thing, and the other couple topics we talked about. Give us your feedback, put it on the board, and we'll check it out. And you can catch us again on YouTube, and what's the other ones, Mark? Apple, Spreaker,
YouTube, right? Obviously,
Google.
Yeah.
All of them. I think we're just about everything you could be on.
I think we're on every possible platform.
Yeah. Yeah. So I can't remember them all. There's too many. So again, for Mark, Daniel, and myself, thank you, and we'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you for spending time listening to the KissFAQ podcast today. All sales are final. There are no refunds. If you'd like, look us up on Facebook or come over to the KissFAQ message board and discuss the topic we've broadcast today. Don't forget to rate us on iTunes, Spreaker, or wherever you've listened to the show. We hope you'll join us again.